Okay, before the break, we were looking at the components for putting together a VR game. And when I was getting ready last night, this is one of the things that I like to wait till the last minute. Like everything was ready, but the test from Meta really likes to update stuff. So the test I did right before the semester started, I have a feeling weren't valid anymore, and I was just getting an error message when I'd when it was ready to debug, which is where we got before the break. When I plug it up to the computer, and at this point, a little message box pops up in the headset. Sure should.
So did y'all get assigned to the internet? Okay. I didn't.
For
Password?
going to the student.
Oh, I didn't have to go that.
Yeah,
Type
so-
anything in.
When you plug it up, a little box pops up asking for permission, and you have to give it permission on the headset, which is just kind of point and click on the controllers. But it takes a second. Plug it up, get permission on there. You should see everything. And then when you go to, at that point, what's supposed to happen is when we hit run, it should build, but yeah, this is the message box I was getting last night. So it's saying OpenXR was requested but failed to start. Please check that it's connected. And it says when using Windows, please note that only has DirectX support, which is really, really strange because that's a warning message from about 3 years ago that was fixed 3 years ago. That's what really confused me because I think that might be it looks like it's a bug that Microsoft fixed 3 years ago because of part of that warning message. But it says Steam VR is still going to work, but this is the problem I was having, and all of this part's getting redone. There is but whenever we go to buyback mode, we see this. But right now we can't see anything. Let me maybe grab these hands, grab one of the hand objects, and we'll bring on the field edition.
Oh, yeah. There's a backwards facing sensor that detects when your face is in there.
The lens?
Yes,
Yeah.
Or is it right in between the two?
it's the thing in between.
It's a little infrared sensor like.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah, it's so there's little sensors and goes to sleep. So the controllers go to sleep and the headset goes to sleep. So I'm gonna move the controllers up there. So yeah, so we hit run and this message box started showing up, and then this sentence right here, WMR only has DirectX support, was an error that Microsoft fixed a couple years ago. So I'm not sure where that's originating from. I thought it was fixed. It was fixed when I was getting prepared before the semester, but that's changing anyway. And if you skip that, you get this, and you can see we have our controllers there. That's kind of what it looks like, only and this does pop up when it works correctly too, so that somebody wearing the headset sees the game, moves the controllers, those would be moving around and all just like expected. And then anybody else, it still shows on the screen simultaneously. Makes it easy to debug. But for some reason, that's not working. What we have to do is actually do the Android bill. This is sort of let's go back to the.
They're rugged. I will say they're decently rugged. There's
Yeah.
There's a guy who tests these, and one of his tests is he literally throws it in a washing machine and just turns it on for like a half hour to see what happens.
Yeah, they are very hard. They're set up to take damage, but we need to build for Android, and we haven't seen any building on our projects yet. So let's take a look at that. We go to project and project settings, or no, sorry, not project settings. That's out of habit. That's where we usually go. Let's go past project settings, to project, and then down to export. And here's where we set up our different export packages, whether it's going to Android, iOS, the web.
Something interesting for me. There is a PC-based MetaQuest thing.
SideQuest is not working right now either. So I don't know where that bug's coming from.
Not even SideQuest, just Quest is like the platform. If you're connecting to your PC, you need to have that open.
Oh, yeah, the Oculus. Yeah, I tried
Yeah,
that.
Oculus. Okay, I want to be sure. I just clicked and I was like, hang on a second. Maybe that's what's.
Yeah, I was expecting the test run to take about 30, maybe 45 minutes last night. And it was like 2.5 hours. It was like,
Right, probably did it.
it was like, yeah, I'm not, I don't know what this issue is gonna be, but this part's changing anyway, so we don't need to focus on something that's gonna be different in a month from now. They've already announced the change, just not when the change is gonna be officially released.
Newsletter to subscribe to that tells you about this stuff.
I keep up on it on one of the channels I watch.
Oh, YouTube channel.
Yeah, YouTube channel.
Could you tell us what that is?
Yes, I should probably share it with you. So this guy, he does 5 games in Godot. Every week he does a video about 5 games made in Godot to inspire you. So I go to this, and then he has a stay-at-home dev. He does some great stuff. He makes a lot of the plugins, other contributions to the engine. He makes games, but every week he does 5 games. He releases 5 games made in Godot that, actually there's a VR one down here that's awesome. I would have never thought of this.
Yeah.
Which I have to stop the share and
Yeah.
reshare with sound. Let me turn that down so I don't overwhelm people. Share with sound, share that.
Fell apart. I was
Just,
Number 5.
In Keep the Heroes Out, players take on the role of monsters defending their treasures from invading heroes. Described as a cooperative dungeon galactic warlord. Creativity. The game is currently on the MetaQuest Developer Store with Twitter.
Number 2.
never thought of it.
My Flower Reality offers a serene escape into a realm of floral beauty through mixed reality. Immerse yourself in relaxation as you create stunning flower arrangements using a variety of items. Access
That seems very, very relaxing. But yeah, this guy's channel, he's a great place to stay up to date on what's going on with Godot, and his comments are usually full of links and things, but stay at home dev.
So what does he like every so often do like here's what's coming in Godot or
Oh, these 5 games come out every week.
this is where he talks about the stuff we're changing.
He does other stuff, so his channel.
Good. I didn't know if there was like a specific because like some like the video goes like Tuesday news day. He says the past week's worth of New York stuff.
Yeah, this guy just vlogs about Godot. Every time he's by his camera. So I start there. I usually don't watch the entire video. You can see how many don't have any little red marks on there, but yeah, he just sits there and vlogs about Godot all the time. So that's one place to keep up. We'll put it in the chat.
You're one to talk, Mr. Aaron.
What, huh?
Okay, so
Exactly.
oh yeah, back to the builds. So whenever we're finished with a project, and this is what we do with any project, not just VR stuff. We want to come up to project and export it, and then set up the type of export we want. Is it going to an Android device? So for the VR stuff, it needs to go to Android. We'll do that build here in just a second, because there's actually an extra step that, again, is getting fixed soon. I'm going to do this. So right under that export button, you'll see install Android build template. We do need to click that. And then under manage templates, download and install whatever the latest version of that is. Android changes quickly. So Google will like have 5,000 programmers working on a project and change their mind at 11:15 in the morning, in the afternoon, and then expect it to be fully implemented by noon. So if you're heading into software development, you'll encounter that and deal with that at some point. Google changes their mind quickly, so a lot of software, they just, there's somebody that just, their full-time job is to keep up. Somebody at the Godot Foundation, their full-time job is to keep up on Google's changes. Because there's no doing it. It's hard. If anybody's had the Android class, you may have noticed that it's almost impossible to keep up. It's completely impossible to keep up with textbooks on that. So we went to redevelop that this time around. When you got together, it's like, let's just use the official tutorial. It's like the official tutorial's got to be up to date.
It's always not.
Well, development started, and 3 weeks into the development on the new statewide shell, announcements came out, so the stuff in the tutorial was about to go out of date. It's Google, they do that, so things like game engines, even an open source one, because open source things this big, they have full-time employees through donations and stuff. There have to be people who keep up on stuff. Or at least part-time employees, and there's somebody whose job is to keep up on what Google's doing. So after you download the latest version, close that and go back to project and click install again, and now we have an install button. So that'll get us up to date with the latest version. That's why they didn't include it in the actual engine. And Android is like that, so other game engines might need to do that as well.
It's way easier to look at.
It used to be way harder.
Yeah, I had to download some Android thing on some other website, sign in, get like the key thing, then bring it back to Godot.
We can still have to do that.
You started computers after you could crawl, right? That's when you.
Started computers and maybe.
Yeah, we might still have to install Android Studio, but the computer you're logged onto there has it installed. It is installed in the lab computers here.
So press it down.
So when we go to export, I click add, and then most of our games, we probably click something like this, right? If you're gonna put it on Steam or Itch, you probably want a web build. And they'll give you all the files that are needed that you just upload to their servers. And it's ready to go there. Is it gonna be something they download and play, so Linux and desktop, directly for an app?
I was gonna say most things on Steam you download on your PC, but Windows desktop, but it's like web.
Yeah, I guess Steam that's a bad example. Steam you would download.
I honestly don't know of anybody who. There are various web-based games,
We'll
so
get back into the web builds, because I think we might have to install an SDK. That actually downloaded quicker than I was expecting. So I don't think it downloaded the SDK, which is a software development kit. It didn't download all of the Google libraries. But once we can add a bunch of different builds. Maybe we want to build Windows, a website, and Android, which VR needs to go to Android. The Apple devices, it's like other Apple stuff. You're not supposed to make Apple things, unless you work for Apple explicitly. If I were to direct an Apple employee who've been through training have been to Apple training and are a registered Apple developer. They're a bit restrictive. Most of our devices are Android ones, so we build for Android. The thing, there's a checkbox we have to hit down here somewhere, so come over and scroll through the settings. Most of them should be good. We click APK expansion and which I don't think isn't one we actually need. I thought there was an XR one here somewhere. Debug, release, Gradle. Architecture's good. I don't see I'm gonna uncheck sign. Hopefully if we uncheck sign, it won't require us to download the entire library. But it might. Oh, there it is. Under XR features, I went right past it. Let's see, XR mode. Switch that to Open XR.
And that does what?
What's that?
We're changing it to OpenXR, changes it, how?
So set XR mode to Open XR.
But what does that do?
That is the format, the standard format for virtual reality stuff. So yeah, like all these nodes that are labeled XR, that's what Facebook did a couple of years ago. They created that standard, which is slowly coming into place.
Okay, so this is kind of like changing like to
Yeah, so this is
PNG and reporting for use and.
yeah. So I guess the quick version of this is it changes from a flat Android screen like a phone to the curved Android screen like in the headset.
I guess regular is not XR.
There's a lot of other stuff, but that's a quick summary of it.
I'm guessing the quote unquote regular is not XR compatible, like OpenXR is XR.
Regular is your flat phone screen.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in the background, but think about it that way. You're exporting some games for to play on your phone and other games to play on the virtual reality.
On the unique screen that is VR goggles.
So it's that means regular Android would be the way to put it.
So do some offices work in VR? I mean, I know that there was some.
They wanted it to, not very many jumped on it, but I do know that some people like that YouTuber I talked about that's like all in VR, he basically does everything with his headset.
Because
He in order to, because he'll test stuff and he basically he for one video tried running that entire video by editing everything that he does in his headset. He has never done
Yeah,
that.
any Android app will run in VR.
like my mind is completely blanking. But that world that you created an avatar and you go, it's like Sim Life, no, not.
Are you Second Life?
Second Life.
Yes, that would work. Mozilla actually made a better one.
Oh,
Mozilla has one that they made it that makes Firefox. They have one that works in VR on phones, on desktops, and it kind of crosses over everything. And actually, everybody that it was one that I tried for office hours, and everybody that tried it said it was best on phone.
Yeah, there's a variety of.
And all the other
chats. There's VR chat itself, which is the singular most popular chat thing, which is.
But that's gonna be a rabbit hole. So yeah,
okay, sorry.
if it works on an Android device, it will work on VR.
Effectively, there's a massive competition for the one social.
That's gonna be stupid and make it only like you can only use.
Oh, Apple does that with all their stuff.
I know, but.
But this is an Apple.
I know. that.
Yeah, Meta is just Android and Steam's Android. Apple is Apple is different than their phone and everything. It has to be
So do I have
Oh, yeah,
to
they did.
get a new cell phone to use?
I keep forgetting they have their own headset that's.
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
but yes, it is
it will be Apple.
it doesn't do anything. So I think we are missing the I think we are missing something. I'm still getting the warning message.
They're doing their own thing.
So this is the old way. This is going away soon anyway. Oops, not that. We need the Android software development kit, which is all the libraries Android built on. And to do that, you just want to install Android Studio,
Oh, there we go.
which is, yeah. You just install this, the official IDE for doing that. It says download now, but that says sponsored, but developer.android.com. It's a easy address to remember. Yeah. Latest version is Jellyfish. Yes, you can download the SDK tools separately, but to do that is, that is difficult, yes, because that is just downloading, like you're grabbing the files from GitHub, and then you have to configure them all on your computer and set up things up.
Studio Jellyfish.
Jellyfish is the latest version,
Totally read all that.
which is a large software and it's gonna take a minute to download. So you would just download this, and then once that happens, this warning message goes away and you can click this export project button. Is all we need to do. But let's look at that export project in another thing. So maybe one of our other games that we can't export. That would be the last step. And then, well, that's downloading for those in the classroom. Then we can grab one of these tablets and side load it the old way, at least on one of the headsets. I'm gonna open another one of our projects. What was something we could walk around in? I think the other day we could, right? I think 429. I think we moved around, looked at the sky. We didn't really do anything. There's a better walk around.
There's, for 3D or 2D,
I was gonna go for 3D, and
there's landscape.
yeah, as long as we got something, I'm just gonna open this up. I'm gonna open the one from the other day. That'll work.
Oh yeah, there's the landscape thing that we did, I don't know what day that is.
Yeah, any game you have sitting around, so, you all have your homework projects on your computers probably, so that might be a better one to look at this as an example. Finish games. I'm just gonna go to the one from Tuesday and then do, actually build the project on something that can be built. Once it opens, because Android Studio is really large, it takes a minute to download it. But that part, yeah, we don't necessarily need to see that part in the class. I guess it's almost finished already. All right, so here's that game from Tuesday. Where are the controls? What it runs. Look around that stuff we did, not Tuesday, Monday. Call that project finished. So we come over to project and then go to export. And notice all those things we added on the last one are no longer on this list. So we have to recreate that list. What all exports do we want every single time? PlayStation and Xbox, you have to pay for the export. It doesn't cost much. It's not super expensive. Like it's not,
$2,000.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a different scale of licensing though, you heard the number said. So it's compatible with software that's usually like 6,000 to 8,000. So relative, yeah. Like, oh, I don't know why I clicked Android. We can't do an Android build, so remove that one there. Let's add, say, a Windows desktop. That way I can play it without starting the game engine here. I'm pretty sure the defaults should all be good here. I haven't looked at the defaults on 4.2, but, I've been running it on a Windows machine here, so should all be good. See edit tool must be configured in the editor settings. We'll change the icon. We should probably change the icon. Haven't seen that yet either. Go to some place to export it. I will put it in the delete folder. And notice it's creating that exe file. Message pops up, bunch of yellow. Yellow's, I don't see any red, so it should be good. Just some warnings. Yeah, it's warning me that I didn't change the icon. Right, that picture that's in there everywhere, and I think the export is just sent over. Where's the delete folder?
Yeah, it's just Godot.
Yeah, let's look at how to change that. Whoops. We'll see how to change that in just a second. So I'll minimize everything else and put this back in order by name so I can find delete. There we go.
Oh, couldn't run project no means seemed.
Oh, that was probably one of those warnings. Okay, let's try that again. So I'll come back over to that. So it said no main scene defined,
Oh,
which I've been intending to do that for a minute and forgot that message was there when we finally got around to it. So I've always been hitting the run the current scene one. You can come over and right click on one of them, but if you hit the main run button, it wants you to set a current scene. So you got to set this as the select the current scene as the main one. So now it knows where to start by default. It can also be really good form to call your main scene main.
the Android Studio is enter the admin username and password.
Android Studio should already be installed on there. Yes, I installed Godot Blender, or actually Godot Blender and Android Studio installed. So now we should be able to export that again. Or should we change icons first? Let's change the icon. Under, is it under project settings? Implement. Ah, there it is. Right at the top of general, the application and then config, and see at the bottom is it's pointing at the resources icon file. So to change that, we just need another picture. I'm gonna grab this tree we did a while ago. Wait. Yeah, that's nice. I think that's SVG. It says Chrome HTML document, but it should be in its SVG file. Yeah, SVG. I don't know why it's saying it's Chrome. I'm just gonna grab one of these trees because that's a convenient picture.
It's because anything that you don't have set to something with Windows is just, bleh.
Yeah.
It just does whatever. The stupid Windows thing hates it when you don't use their stuff, so it'll just do whatever icons it wants.
Yep.
And you have no way of changing it. It's annoying as hell.
So I'm gonna just drag that picture over here to the project. You see, there's that other image. So now if we go to the File Explorer and should accidentally put it in the folder, point at that picture, close that. Save all the changes, and actually I want to close out of this and come back into it to show you something else. So I'm going to close Godot and come back in. You don't need to close out. Sorry, I should have said that first. I'm going to close this project. I'll be right back into it. And second, the computer's going really slow for some reason. Probably because it's the cheapest computer from Walmart. I always make it a point to teach off the cheapest computer at Walmart. Notice the icon shows up here as well. Which that was just to point out that. So we know the icon, so yeah, it's on the very top screen of the project settings. So I guess it's kind of recommended to be one of the first things you change. Because any game you make is probably gonna have, you're gonna have some images. So just use an image from your game instead of that default one. But now we have a default scene. We can hit the run button and all that, so we go to export. Windows runnable and export that. Just gonna overwrite the existing file, yes, overwrite it. Because it didn't work anyway. Still some warnings. Yeah. Your warnings. They're yellow, not red, so we probably don't need to worry about them. And now if we try that, it should give us, yeah, that thing we're used to. So at this point, no surprises, right? We already seen it run.
Oh, it didn't change, at least on mine, didn't change the icon.
Make sure you saved it and
I closed it and reopened it and it had the icon, the little Godot thing, but it did, when I saved over the old one, it still has the Godot.
oh, this one still has that icon.
Yeah. So, I thought that was what we were changing.
There's multiple icons we have to change. It should pop up here. We should see it there, but it's,
Oh, yeah, I see like,
maybe there's another one we have to change.
one for the thumbnail.
Yeah, let's do a web build. Web build, we'll just kind of go with the defaults there. Actually, it might be over here. Oh, export icon, it's checked here. And export console. Oh, yeah, under in the export settings, you scroll down to application, there's also an icon here. We need to change, but, I'm going to the web one and just, let's see what the default does. I think we should be good. I'm going to the same folder and those .html.
Arrow, underscore, to run Godot projects on the work is bus or station. Shared array buffer checklists. It'll have a, if you're looking for it, it'll have a Chrome.
Yeah, mine hasn't finished yet. It got the JavaScript and some resources that, it zipped up all the images and created the JavaScript file already, but it hasn't got the HTML. There it is. I'm going to attribute that to using the cheapest computer, but it's almost time to do a factory reset anyway.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Check web server configurations. Oh, okay, so this has to run, we have to put this on a server. So,
We can just use school servers
um,
for like personal projects and.
If you ever take, if you're taking web dev, you could do it on there probably, if that works in web dev course. Or would they not?
Depends on what you're doing, you're using AWS. In my class, we always use just traditional domain hosting. It's a
Yeah,
lot
we
easier.
just found a free thing online for his class.
Yeah, well, I was part of
He was in the class.
Oh, yeah.
And some people people use different ones because.
I know that one.
Statewide Joe uses AWS, which, some people think that's their very first class. And just being like, oh, go set up an AWS server is a bit much, so lots of people around the state use different ones for that. Different companies. Host a Godot game.
On line 3, there was
Probably want that. Hold on.
that's your typical.
Publish. Yeah, you just need a place to put it, so like it would work.
Yeah, I was wondering if those domain host things.
Yes, so, yeah, so itch.io. Which I don't have an account, with the email addresses that I use in class, so. I don't have it with my, the Francis Chris 5 or the. Or C Francis 4, which is another thing, game development especially. It can be nice to not use your real name there.
Players can be jackasses.
Thank you. I was trying to think of a nice way to put it, but yes. Yes,
To put it blatantly, players are not nice. You can have a very fun and happy community that's very nice to you, or you can have players that will literally DDoS the ever-loving hell out of you.
You could just said.
yes, and every single game published will have both of them.
Or not.
Yeah, yeah.
So-
Generally, you'll have two sects. You'll have the players you like and the players that,
What a sprinkle. What's that
Yes.
teaching?
yes.
But yeah, they will, and they will let you know, so even if you do like developing games yourself, maybe put it in a company name. Something so that makes it a little bit harder for those people to reach out to you, because
Yeah,
it's separated, and
because if it leaves.
that's often a good idea, right? It's like a corporation, you don't want stuff tied to your name in any business.
I mean,
It's better to have a corporation or an LLC than a
yeah, that's.
sole proprietorship.
Either you that publisher or what the hell did you use? Only hackers and your players.
Game developers will just start emailing you with rude comments and, their thoughts on the game, and sometimes their thoughts are just that,
Your game is.
but they couldn't get through level 3. And they will really let you know about it. That's a nice way to put it. What Brady said, so it's a good idea to have, separate from your normal access.
It's a mixed bag.
Yes. Yes, it's humans, but then once you have this, notice it gave us 3 files. Or it gave us 4 files, one, we can see the time, 2:37, 2:37, 2:38, 2:38. Oh. 5 files. 6 files.
There's a lot. It's many files. There's like
Yeah.
8, 9.
Yes, so those files, see the timestamp. You can tell from the timestamp, the ones that came with that export. You would just put all of those in a folder and upload it. Actually, itch.io will give you a folder. You just take those, and when you log into your account, drag them over, and then that's how you have to play those games. So made to go from a server, not a local run. Yes, Layla had a nice way of putting that in the chat room as well.
Quick question.
Yes.
Is this accessory or does it have a purpose?
That is it's a sensor.
This is something?
Something? Yes.
That
There's that's a plastic case. There's sensors inside of it.
it's not a sensor itself. It's a thing that the headset itself looks for.
Yeah.
Like the headset itself looks at that ring and says, "Oh, that's where you fall."
So if I turn around, I should confuse it.
No.
Yes. For those that are in the camera, he asked about the ring here.
Well, maybe because there is the flat spot on the back of it, if we would use it, but they also have their own
You mean
telemetry.
meta symbol?
No, I'm talking about the ring itself.
There's pieces in there.
That ring is specifically to tell the thing where it is. That's like the big ball on, you know, like the.
Yeah.
Oh,
This-
so
yeah.
this-
Yes.
You know, like, have you ever seen mocap suits with the balls on them? That's like the ball on that suit that
We can talk about that in a moment. So, what's, that's not sure. Yes, those things are loaded down with sensors. The type of sensors is plastic. Because if you hold the controller and move your thumb inside that ring, it can tell where your thumb is.
yeah, it reads your thumb.
So that's like the thumb reader.
You captured it.
And also, yeah, in a bright room, yeah.
Also, the controller itself has some sensors. The ring also just helps it to double check it.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
I block it. It gets confused.
So that's how we get the build. Y'all probably want that thing, probably the HTML style builds. For the VR stuff, once you get Android, download and install Android Studio, which will takes a few minutes.
this 2 is like 10 years old.
No. 2 came out just like 4 or 5 years ago, during the pandemic, when everything was back out.
Yeah, in 2020. I thought it was older. It just came out.
Yeah, so you just run Android Studio if you want to get those restaurants in. This is being updated, so when 4.3 comes out in a few months, all those fixes should be in place, and then just plug up the Quest or Steam headset, and it'll go right to it. If you want to build it, run Android Studio, create a new project one time, just create a new project, and once it creates and runs, it'll create a project, and it'll start with some blank files. There'll be some code there. You don't have to run anything. Just hit run on that one time, so it does what's called a Godot build. You know, it's doing the initial Godot build because it'll take like 20 minutes. It has to download the files, and that's packaging stuff. If you've encountered that yet, all of the latest libraries, make sure everything's up to date, and compiles all the code and puts it together. Just run that one time, and the default template files, the ones that are basically blank, or they might say hello world or something in them. That's enough to run the Gradle build one time. After you do that, then you come back over here, and when you export the project, it will give you, there's a file with the .app extension. That is your Android package. So that's what APK stands for, Android package. You just take that and copy and paste it over to the files on your device. And then you can install it from there. The default browser on a Meta headset blocks installation. So you have to have either a file explorer that allows those, or something to sideload with. I like something called Budjaker. So you will, if you start looking for it, you will see lots and lots and lots of stuff about SideQuest. An amazingly large number of things about SideQuest. SideQuest is a data collection, like it's a high tier data collection. They would know everything about you. So I'm not particularly a fan of SideQuest because it's data collection. We hear about like Google and all them collecting our data and selling it to people. Like SideQuest is one of the apps from the people that buy the data from Google. So they went with, yeah. It works great. I mean, they provide a quality product for what they did. I don't like to use it myself, but that's an installer. I use one called Budjaker. It's free. And this is just sort of on the Play Store with their screenshots. Yeah, it just has these little. It's an installer, so you just connect this to your headset, and then there's an install button. So you can copy the APK file, over to an Android device, plug it up to the headset, and then run it through there. So if the people in the classroom want to do that, we didn't ready to do that. But yeah, as far as those on the Zoom call, it's probably kind of boring to watch us do that, right? Run an installer onto equipment that you don't have access to. So that kind of filled out time nicely today. The main thing was those steps that aren't changing with that. How we put the notes together, hopefully that looked very conventional. That's gonna be the same. Other stuff can be coming up soon. So how to do a build, what we do when we're finished. Or how we get that finished product, there's still more to do, right? Probably want installers and accounts to set it up on and stuff. It spits out the file that we would open on itch.io or something like that. There are sites that are specifically for Godot games. How to change an icon, a few little things, but the big thing for today is they've already announced that it's changing in 4.3 and they just haven't announced the release date for 4.3. Some point later, in a couple months, there'll be a new one out, and at that point, I'll probably be one among a large number of people that rush over to YouTube and put video out as soon as we can figure out as quickly as we can get those videos out on YouTube. So
Like those Wikipedia editors.
yes, yeah. So I know people that likes to rush and do that. So but I will be one of thousands to do that. So as soon as 4.3 comes out, there will be instructions on the part that changes. Most of what we focused on today is going to be the same. It's on the homepage. We got online. There's something else playlist for our thing.
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah, Mr. DS Francis 5.
Nice Xbox user.
Which is actually from a guy. All those videos we want on videos for someone on it was I wrote under the name CS Francis. People buy from authors they know, so based nicely for a few years, then the contract's expired. I'm sure it's probably almost all recycled by now.
So you could republish them on Kindle.
Yeah, I got the copyright expired. Yeah, somebody paid for the cost of publishing things. You don't think printing presses, right? If there's, they don't want to waste ink. So they'll publish lots of stuff, so it's not that expensive. Those guys aren't that expensive. Some publisher pay for that and an agent and all sorts of things, but I'm not good at self-promotion. So they probably all been recycled back. But that's a complete distraction. Okay, we're wrapping up. Does anybody have any questions on stuff for today? Give that a couple seconds. Oh, I assume 5 seconds means no questions. There's if you have any, let me know. We still have what a little just under an hour of time left today. I'm gonna get a good handle from projects for those in the classroom here. If y'all want, we can try to load this up here and check one out. If you for those who haven't used VR before, stick around for a minute or try this headset on. This is it doesn't have the default view. The account can only have the room and the house and one headset. So the rest of them just have blank bubbles floating around. So it'll look better on that one. Otherwise, if you have questions, let me know. I'm always happy to help. And I'll see you on Monday. Y'all have a great weekend.